What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track back with another video here. And today we are talking Sonoma, second road course of the season in 2024 for the NASCAR Cup Series. Coming off well, you can look at it two ways, right? A brutal loss in the Ryan Blaney, had him for an outright. He was my second favorite bet of the week behind Logano, but I nailed the race. I gave you Ford as the manufacturer, and I said the only competition to Ford, which did end up winning, by the way, with Austin Cindric. But only competition I said would be Joe Gibbs Racing. And sure enough, I liked Truex. Christopher Bell turned out to be the guy. But yeah, if you had a card of just JGR and Ford and you bet them both, you would have won some money because both plus money, good solid bets. I think Ford opened around plus 300. So that was a steal. And like I said, I mean, we had Blaney. He was right there to win that thing. And of course, yeah, it runs out of fuel and we lose on the last lap. We lost sort of like that with one of my favorite bets back at Richmond. I had Truex, same thing. All hell breaks loose on like right before he takes the white. And of course, and Blaney did just about take the white. Like he's at the start finish line about to take the white flag. And of course, he runs out of gas. So I guess the Truex one was a little bit different, but yeah, some bad beats this year. It happens. We nailed what would happen. So that was good. Still netted some decent stuff throughout that weekend with, again, my biggest bet was on Ford. So, that was the manufacturer bet. I felt confident on it. So again, that stuff happens, but we move forward and now we'll take on Sonoma. Real quick before we get into the actual bets, let's quickly talk about the partnership with the NASCAR betting preview show. It is how you might be listening via podcast rather than the YouTube page. So if you're listening via the podcast or you're not, head over to NASCAR betting preview show on however you get your podcast, whether that's the podcast app, could be Spotify. Hit that follow button for plenty of good NASCAR betting content for myself and other betting motorsports content creators in this world. And then the live NASCAR betting preview show goes live on X Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, again, it's a cool community. I talk mostly Cup Series. That's what they do on the live show. But then you've got trucks, you've got Xfinity. So plenty to keep you covered. Hit that follow button on the NASCAR betting preview show again, however you consume your podcast. So with that, we can now get into the bets. I am close, and we'll see if I end up doing it on my Twitter, my X account at JOTT_podcast. I'm close to even out a bet of the year. I'm very, very close. I do not like the board this weekend at all. I don't think there's a lot of value on a lot of these drivers. I'm actually going to get my phone up now to get the DraftKings app up to see if anything has shifted. I don't suspect that anything has, but like I said, I'm close to giving out a bet of the year. It is not a plus money bet. It is actually a minus 185 bet. It is AJ Allmendinger top 10. Now you say minus 185 for top 10. That doesn't seem like much value. It is. This should be a 3 to 3.5 unit bet for you. So, if you bet $100 a unit, this is a $300 bet. This is a $350 bet. This is a big, big bet for you. AJ Allmendinger in the next gen era, actually, well, since 2023, is the third fastest in the next gen from 2023 on at road courses. Third fastest. He was obviously won the Roval last year, had a good result at Sonoma last year. The Coda earlier this year, he finished sixth. Ladies and gentlemen, when AJ Allmendinger steps into a Cup Series car in a road course, or at a road course rather, he will get a top 10. And if he doesn't, it's because somebody wrecks him. It's because there's an issue with the car. It is not ever speed or driver related, AJ Allmendinger will have a car that will put him right around third to seventh place. He will run about third to seventh place for most of this race. I am very confident in this bet. Minus 185 for AJ Allmendinger for a top 10. Massive, massive value in a week where I look through this board and there's value on some like big names. There's value on a guy like Larson, which I'm about to talk about. There's value on him, but I mean, I look at some of these numbers here, right? Truex plus 550, Byron plus 750, Gibbs plus 750, Bell plus 750, Busher plus 1400, McDowell plus 1400, Chase Elliott plus 850. Like, to me, McDowell should be close to 30 to 1. Busher could be close to 35 to 1. I know these guys perform well, and I'm going to talk about them as well, but when I look at value, I don't see a whole lot of it. And I see it with AJ Allmendinger, top 10, again, at JOTT_podcast for my Twitter account. That might be where I give out if this is a bet of the year. We're 2 for 2 in my career in bet of the years. Cole Custer 1 year for a top 10, and I'm kind of blanking on what last year's bet. Christopher Bell was a bet of the year at New Hampshire. So we've had a few. We've won them all. I feel pretty confident if I end up taking this one as a bet of the year. In terms of, we'll get into some other stuff. I feel like the manufacturer bet here is probably going to be Toyota. They were so dang good on this road course last year. They just were, right? You had Martin Truex Jr. obviously winning that thing. Hamlin was on the pole. He was fast. Ty Gibbs was fast. Tyler Reddick is usually fast at road courses. So when I look at the Toyota camp, I feel confident. Truex, Gibbs, Bell, Reddick, Hamlin. I mean, all of those guys in the Toyota camp, you can feel confident about that they will put in a good result. They were so good here, so dominant here last year. Really, it was a two-horse race, in my opinion, between Martin Truex Jr. and Michael McDowell, who had a pit road error at last year in this race. Those were the two best cars. But Truex was really the class of the field. And again, like plenty of those other Toyotas, like I just mentioned, were top 5 cars. Right. So, Toyota, I feel pretty confident about them being the winning manufacturer. Some outrights, I'm going to start with Kyle Larson. I think the value's there, plus 750. I don't think you're going to get much closer to a number like that really all season for some of these tracks with Larson. Like, if you can find him anywhere from 8 to 1 and beyond, I always think there's value on Larson. Like, some of these races, he's coming in at 5 to 1, 4 to 1. It's ridiculous. I think he's going to qualify well. He's always fast on road courses since 2023. Where does Kyle Larson rank? I'm trying to find Larson. I guess he's hasn't been great. I get from an overall speed perspective, but I feel like a lot of that has to do with some like issues and whatnot with the cars. But he did win Watkins Glen, right? A road course. So this guy's a road course racer. I think he's going to be solid. And again, 7.5 to 1 plus 750. I think there's great value on Kyle Larson. There, I also like Ty Gibbs. The Xfinity records, speaks for itself. He's going to be running an Xfinity car. He's been very good at Sonoma in his career. I just feel like this is one of those places where you circle and you say Ty Gibbs can definitely get his first career Cup Series win here, lock himself into the playoffs. He's pretty much already locked in on points, but from a win perspective, that whole team, I feel like, is rooting for this kid to get his first one. I think Sonoma is a great place for that to happen. Again, that's plus 750. The value isn't great on it, but I love everything about what I've seen from Ty Gibbs this year. The speed hasn't really got into a lot of drama and issues. I feel like he's getting a lot more respected on in the series. And again, he's going to have that experience from racing in the Xfinity race. Another thing that AJ Allmendinger will have, he'll be racing Xfinity, and then he'll be going Cup racing on Sunday. So Gibbs, Larson, I like those two guys for value, for outrights. And then I'm going to look at two props here. I'm going to look at Chris Buescher and Michael McDowell to be the top forwards. I think one of those guys is going to be the top forward. I think there's going to be solid value on either one of those. I would play them both. And you can feel pretty comfortable that one of those guys, in my opinion, is going to be the top Ford. Michael McDowell has the best odds to win in terms of a money line. Actually, he's tied with Busher, so plus 1,400 is both those guys' money line bets. And then Cindric falls in line next. You know, from the Ford camp, not really road course racers. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Barry. Those guys aren't really what we think of as road course racers. Although I do like Justin Haley. He'll be an interesting one to watch because, again, he's been good just about everywhere here with that alliance with RFK. And he's proven to be a really solid road course racer, kind of learning a lot from his teammate back at Cowling, AJ Allmendinger. But anyway, I think Busher, McDowell, you can play those together as a top four prop if your book offers it. I think there's good value there. And then one more ginormous value bet. I talked about Justin Haley. The top 10, quite frankly, isn't really there anymore. The value, rather, plus 350. I don't love it. But I do like his teammate, Kaz Grala. Grala, New England guy from my neck of the woods over in Massachusetts. Again, RFK car, or he'll be racing for Rick Ware Racing, but that alliance with RFK, Kaz Grala, proven road course racer. His first ever Cup Series start was at a road course, finished top 10 when he subbed in for Austin Dillon. So this guy can ring it at a road course, plus 1,600 the number. He qualified 23rd at Circuit of the Americas, 23rd in a Rick Ware Racing car earlier this season when we really hadn't seen so much of that speed that we've seen recently from Rick Ware Racing. They continue to get better. They continue to improve. Kaz Grala kind of searching still to find those results like Haley has. I like Kaz Grala. Huge value bet, plus 1,600, $10 bet wins you 160 if that hits. And you never know, right? Like sometimes at these road courses, some crazy stuff can happen. Late restart, people are sending it in around the corners, and that's perfect when a guy like, run around, let's say he's running 18th, 17th, can make up some spots if he gets through. But I like Kaz Grala here. I think there's plenty of value there for him to get a top 10. Most of the value, in my opinion, is on top 10s this week. And it starts with Allmendinger, then it goes to Kaz Grala. So one more time through the bets we go. AJ Allmendinger top 10, Kaz Grala top 10. You kind of partner Busher and McDowell for top Ford. Toyota, in my opinion, seems to be the winning manufacturer, and I like Gibbs and Larson for your outrights. Full card at JOTT_podcast on X, and Johnny on the Track on Action Network, as you can find the full final card that we threw out. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like, goes a long way for the channel. Want to know what you guys think? Put your bets in the comment section below, and please subscribe. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. Keep going. Let's get to 1,000. Hit that subscribe button for plenty of great motorsports content. Appreciate you guys, and let's win some money.